The benefits of owning a business. Let's get into it. Welcome and thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I love talking about topics like this and doing whatever I possibly can to help you out through all of my videos. So thanks so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Let's get into it and discuss the benefits of owning a business. Now, quickly before we do, I just have to say this is not financial advice. It's not investment advice. It's not business advice. It is not accounting or tax advice in any way. I'm just a dude sitting here with too much time on my hands with a camera and talking about the benefits of a business. So again, please do not take this as advice in any way at all, but rather some talking points and hoping to get you thinking about owning a business and some of the benefits behind actually owning that business. Now again, we need to completely recognize owning a business is certainly not for everybody. I think all of us can probably recognize owning a business is incredibly stressful sometimes. It can be incredibly difficult, and we also have to recognize the risks with owning a business, and it is certainly not for everybody. Just like going to the movies or just like buying a convertible or anything like that, it's for some people, but it's certainly not for everybody, right? It's like a roller coaster ride. You go to the amusement park, you look at the roller coaster, and either you look at it and say, wow, that looks like a lot of fun, or you look at it and say, no way am I going on that thing, not a chance. Well, it's kind of the same thing with owning a business. So if you're watching this video, I anticipate one of a few things. Either you own a business, congratulations, very cool, I hope you're doing well with it, or maybe you're very interested in the topic of owning a business and you want to learn a little bit more about it, or maybe you just enjoy my videos. If that's the case, then thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that maybe you can learn something from this as we can talk through this. All right, so let's get into it and talk a little bit more about owning a business. Now, first things first, of course, there are many different ways that you can structure a business. It could be a sole proprietorship, whereas you are in business all by yourself just as a sole proprietor. You could organize as an LLC. You could simply operate your business as doing business as, or DBA. Essentially, basically, you're just doing business, but yet you have like a name that you do business under. You could organize as a C Corp, an S Corp, a partnership, or all kinds of these other business structures that you could go under. Now again, you would need to talk to your accountant or somebody that understands your situation, how you would want to organize your business, and it totally depends on what kind of industry you're actually in. Are you selling goods, like as in products, or are you in like the service business? Are you providing services with no goods? Again, I don't know that because I don't know your specific situation, but you'd probably want to talk to your accountant about what would be the best structure for you and your specific situation and what you are doing within your business, right? So again, we want to talk about all that, but again, that is like its own video in itself. That's a huge topic right there, how to structure your business. But another quick thing I want to talk about too is there's a lot of misconceptions about owning a business. A lot of people think that if you're going to own a business, you've got to own a huge brick building on the street corner that's cost you $5 million. You got to have 27 employees. You need to have a bunch of sophisticated computers, all kinds of desks and cubicles and all kinds of fancy stuff in there. That is not the case at all. In fact, most businesses are not operated that way at all. In fact, most people operate their businesses from a very small storefront, if that at all, or maybe they just operate their business from home, right? They stay in their home office, they operate their business, maybe they sell goods or services online, maybe they provide some kind of service online, maybe they sell some kind of products online, or who knows what, or maybe they have a small storefront where they actually sell physical products to their local market right there. But again, a lot of people just think when you own a business, you've got to have this huge brick building that costs millions upon millions of dollars. You need to have tons of employees and all these payroll expenses. You need to have an accounting department. You need to have an attorneys. You need to have some attorneys. You need to have all this kind of stuff. That is so far from the truth. That is not the case for the vast majority of businesses out there. In fact, the vast majority of small businesses are made up of just a handful of people. Maybe one person that operates the whole thing. Maybe it's a husband and wife. Maybe it's a boyfriend, girlfriend. Maybe it's siblings that own the business and operate it together. Or maybe it's a husband and wife, or maybe even just one person that operates it with 1 or 2 employees. That's the vast majority of businesses out there that only have a small handful of employees. But let's quickly talk about some of the benefits of actually owning a business. Now again, I could literally sit here for days upon days upon days listing out all of the benefits of owning a business. So of course, we can't go through everything because literally I could sit here for probably 3 days straight going through all of the benefits of talking about owning a business. So let me talk about some of the major benefits of owning an actual business. So first off, think about your personal life. For example, let's say that you don't own a business, but yet you work for somebody, you report to a job, and you earn a paycheck every week, for example. You go to the job, you clock in, you put in the number of hours, and then you leave at the end of the week with a check in your hand for the amount of hours that you have put in. Nice, right? That makes it simple and easy. But once you take your check, you go to the bank, you deposit it, you have your money in the bank, and it's sitting there waiting for you to spend on whatever you want. Well, a lot of times, well, I shouldn't say a lot of times, every single time, when you get your check from your employer and you deposit it into the bank, before you even get a penny of that money, the federal government and the state governments, and including Social Security, everybody like this, already takes their taxes out of your check, right? So you pay taxes up front, and then you get the money that is left over as your net income, right? You probably see that on your check, on your pay stubs. You see a gross income, and then it all shakes out between the federal taxes, the state taxes, the Social Security, FICA, Medicare, all these taxes like that, take it all down, and then the bottom line, you get your net pay, which you actually take home, your take-home pay. Okay, so cool. And now that is the money that you have left over that you can go out and spend on goods and services. However, when it comes to a business, that equation is actually flipped. Here's how it works with a business. Let's just say that you sell some products, okay, or services. It literally doesn't matter what you sell. You have something that you provide to the world, as in maybe your local market, maybe you provide it on a national level, maybe on a state level, maybe on a global level. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you provide some kind of value to a group of people. They buy your products in exchange. So what they basically do is they give you money in exchange for your product and or service. Therefore, you get money. So when you go and you look at your your bank accounts, basically you're the owner. So all of the gross revenues come into your bank account, right? Your business bank account. You sell, let's just say 100 products, and let's just say those 100 products sell for $10 a piece. So you have $1,000 of gross revenue from those 100 products that you just sold. Pretty cool, right? So you have $1,000 that comes into your bank account. Well, do you pay taxes on all that money up front? No, in fact, you don't. Typically, well, not typically, what happens every time is basically you take that $1,000 and you write off or you expense out all of your expenses against the business, all of your necessary business expenses, and you pay taxes on whatever is left over on your net income, right? So you take your $1,000 and let's just say you have $500 of business expenses. So you need to buy the products, maybe you ship the products, maybe you pay for any kind of other accounting expenses or packing expenses or shipping expenses or whatever else it takes to operate your business. And left over, you have $500 left over after you brought in $1,000 of gross revenues, you paid out $500 in expenses, and now you have $500 left of basically net income, right, to your business. Now you would be paying taxes on the $500 that is left over rather than the $1,000. Does that make sense? So when it comes to like your personal income based on your job, right? So you're an employee, you make $1,000, you pay taxes on all $1,000 of that money. However, when it comes to a business, you take that $1,000, you expense out all of your expenses against the $1,000 of gross revenues, and then you pay taxes on the rest, right? Whatever would be your net income, that would be where you would pay your taxes on. So, can you start to see some of the benefits there of owning a business? So you actually have a lot more capital to work with as you look at your gross revenues, you may have, wow, I have $1,000. I can buy all of my products and services. I can buy everything I need, my inventory. I can buy a new computer. I can pay for all my shipping. I can do all of these things. And then whatever is left over after all of your necessary business expenses, then you would be required to pay taxes on whatever is left. And currently, however you're organized, but right now, as a result of some of the tax provisions, as a result of the 2017 Tax and Jobs Act, or the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you can actually deduct an additional 20% off of your net income as a result of the 199A deduction. By the way, that is a whole topic in itself. We won't get into that, but again, you would have to talk to your accountant on that to see what the whole situation is on that. There are some limitations on that, of course, but again, another way that you can deduct even more money off of your net revenues as a result of some other cool tax provisions. So, as you can see, by owning a business, again, it's a ton of work. Don't get me wrong. It's a ton of work to own a business. It's a ton of work to keep up with everything, to make sure that your accounting is spot on, to make sure that you are keeping records of everything. By the way, if you do own a business, make sure that you keep every last receipt as far as everything you spend money on that you want to write off against your business, because when it comes to accounting time, of course, your accountant is going to want that, and you will certainly need to provide all of those receipts and everything like that, especially when it comes to proper accounting, when it comes to claiming or filing your taxes for the IRS at the end of the year. But one other really cool thing about owning a business is maybe this is something that you do in your spare time. Maybe that you're a full-time employee, right? So you report to a job and you have a full-time income, and then on the side, maybe you're working on something else that could provide some additional income on the side. Maybe you provide some kind of product online that you sell to maybe a national audience, right? So you are selling products to everybody, maybe just in the United States. Cool stuff. So on the side, maybe as you're sleeping and as you're working at your full-time job, you could possibly be selling products, and then when you get home in the evening, you can say, hey, wow, I sold 5 products today while I was working at my other job. Let's package these things up. Let's get them out the door to my clients, or to the people that have bought my products, right? A pretty cool thing. Or maybe you're selling some kind of service. Let's just say, for example, that you've developed a course, right? Maybe you're an expert at something, you've developed a course, and now you sell that course online. You put all the initial work into actually like recording the course or building that course, and then at some point you can put it online and start selling it over and over again, a digital product that literally you don't need to put any other work into, but yet it continues to generate additional revenues for you going forward after just the initial work that you put in to produce that actual product, right? So, as you can see, a business is a ton of work, but yet there are actually some tax loopholes. I shouldn't say loopholes. It's not even loopholes. There are some tax advantages of owning a business rather than just going in and putting your time in, getting a paycheck, and then coming back and just kind of doing that whole thing. But again, don't get me wrong, owning a business is a ton of work, and it is certainly not for everybody. But for some people who want to own a business, it's a cool way that you could actually generate some extra income on the side as a result of your little business that you may have cooking. Another thing that's really cool about a business too is maybe at some point you get to the point where you're saying, hey, wow, I am selling so many products right now, I actually could probably quit my 9-to-5 job, which would be ultimately the goal for most people, where you could get your business to the point where you could say, hey, this thing is going so well right now. I'm so excited about this. It has a long history, a long track record where I've been going for 12 months maybe, and my business is doing really well, and it's exceeding my earned income from my job, and I might just want to think, hey, I might just want to wrap it up on my full-time job and just focus strictly on my business, and then focus all of your attention there and ultimately build it even further to continue to replace your 9-to-5 income, right? So I feel like that is the ultimate goal between most people that own a business or start a business. They just think, hey, how can I build this thing as quickly as possible so that I can get out of reporting to a job? So either way, there's some really cool things about owning a business, and ultimately just the idea of possibly building it to the point where it could possibly replace your income and get you out of a full-time job, which would be so cool and ultimately give you that freedom that you would always want, right? The financial freedom that you've always desired to work for yourself and do whatever you want essentially with your time. But again, you would probably need to figure out your situation and figure out what is the best solution as far as how much money would I really need to make on a monthly basis to actually make it feasible to quit your actual job. And again, that would be specific to every person. I don't know that number for you because I don't know your situation, right? I don't know your exact situation, and it's going to be different for every single person out there. But it's actually something cool to think about because the opportunities are literally endless when it comes to your own business and your own employment. So anyway, I hope this gets you thinking a little bit. Again, this is just literally brushing the surface. There is so much more to talk about when it comes to owning a business, building a business, and so many other things. But I just want to quickly brush on the surface and think, hey, owning a business is kind of a cool thing if you are interested in doing so, and if you have maybe an idea, a product, a service, something that you may be able to sell, something that you can exchange for cash from other people, and ultimately, it's kind of a cool thing if you can just build it up and ultimately just bring in some extra income. And, it's kind of a cool thing. So either way, I hope this gets you thinking a little bit. But again, I did not plan on going into a ton of detail in this video, but rather I just wanted to get you thinking a little bit about some of the cool benefits about owning a business and some of the cool things that you can do with this as far as how you can scale a business, build it faster, and ultimately possibly even supplement your income and or replace your 9-to-5 income as in from a job, right? So either way, I will certainly come back with future videos on this and talk about this in far more detail than this, but I kind of wanted to give you just an introductory video talking about the cool benefits of owning a business and just the possibilities with it. Literally, the possibilities are endless, right? So either way, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video, share this one with your friends, family, and social media, and of course, I'll continue to be here for you every single day going forward to help you out in any way I can. Thanks again, I appreciate it. Subscribe down below and go back and check out some of my other 1,600 plus videos right here on the channel.